Hello and welcome back. I'm Joe and this is a tutorial for Workers and Resources Server Republic. Today I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about conveyors, conveyor engines, how they need to be connected, and what tricks you can apply to make your life easier. This is the reason why these videos exist, because I made a big mistake in one of my playthroughs and I felt like something changed, but maybe it didn't, but I needed to explore what the actual problem was. So here we are. This is a very simple setup. This is a coal ore processing plant. Everything is aggregate storages, and they're all directly connected with conveyor belts. Nothing else. There are no engines in between. What will happen? Well, the first thing that you need to understand is the internal storage for import and export of a factory like this one is expanded with everything that is directly connected to it. A direct connection like this conveyor belt, this conveyor belt. So everything that's in here counts as internal storage to the coal ore processing plant, like so, which means if I turn this one on, there's some coal ore here, the coal ore processing plant will start working once the first workers run inside, which just happened. So this coal goes down, this coal ore, this coal product goes up, but the internal coal ore is not increasing. So it may look like it's not working, but it totally is, so don't worry. The direct connection is totally fine. And will get you the result that you need. Cool. The internal export will increase at a similar percentage as the coal from the storage out here. Great. Now, what else happens? Well, what doesn't happen is coal does not go from this building into this building, even when this one is full. And I shouldn't just say that, I should actually just show you that. So let's fill this one up all the way, just for fun. And say, okay, there you go, 1950 is completely full. This guy is still producing because we still have coal sitting in there, as you can see. And this conveyor stops moving entirely and the internal storage fills up and nothing goes, guys. Oh, yeah, that was my problem because I thought the overflow would go here, but it doesn't. However, this is not the whole truth because something weird happens when you put an engine here, and in the new update, there are now 8 conveyor engines. There are 3 in, 1 out, and 1 in, 3 out, and you can change the height of the actual input and the outputs as well for both of them. So you now can have mid conveyors and low conveyors that we didn't have before, so that should make people relatively happy. But if I put an engine right here, I bet you don't know what's going to happen. Nothing right away. Okay, that's a little weird, but nothing right away. And here's a weird thing, I just want you to know all of this. If this is completely full, nothing moves. I don't know why, but nothing moves. If I empty this just a little bit, see what happens. These two get filled up just automatically. So there is overflow, but only if you connect an engine directly to the next thing, and only if this source is not completely full. Once this source is full, this no longer works. These will stop these will stop getting things. And if you don't believe that, I'll do this, everything stops, right? So this guy has to be empty if you want to use this setup, which means you just need another connection here that's like for a train or something similar that will always pick up from this location, and then you're probably safe. But that is what's important here. The overflow still happens, but only if you have an actual connection with an engine, which is why I treat storages as passive connections, engines as active connections, and factories as factory connections, because they are a little different. Again, they only expand their internal storage, but they don't act as a real engine, because as you can see, an engine here does something else as just a factory there. So that's important. This, of course, works also on the inside, and the engine will just push to 2 levels. It just pushes, this is the first level, this is the second level. It does not matter how many units you have connected here. And obviously, if you put engines in between here, all bets are off anyways, because then it will just pull from here until it's empty. So if we would, for example, connect one more storage to one guy out here, it's not going to push anything there. Are we completely out of coal now? We are out of coal. So let's do this really quick, that we always have some coal sitting there. And now there's still coal coming in here, but no coal coming in there. If you need to change that, obviously you can just add another engine right here, as long as you have power. Every engine needs power all the time. It will do the same thing. This is the first level, this is the second level. It will try to fill these relatively evenly. It's not going to be 100% even all the time, but there you go. That's what's happening. There's something interesting that someone can test for me and maybe put the results in a video or something else. It was said that engines have a slower or lower throughput than direct conveyors. So they say that this conveyor can move more material than if I put an engine there with 2 conveyors connected to it. Someone can figure that out. It can help you really, really well for loading and unloading, especially for trains, if that is true. I believe it's true, but I haven't done the full test, so someone tell me one way or another. But that's really all there is to the engine piece. There's a little bit extra, and I'm going to show you that next. There are a couple more scenarios that we need to play through here. One, what happens when you drop off directly into a cargo station, aggregate station like this? One, I can tell you that unloading directly into an aggregate storage unit is actually faster than using any of the connected loading and unloading units. So when you have the option, directly unloading into this is totally fine and totally quick. However, loading is terribly, terribly slow. So now, what will happen when this guy drops something off here? The same principle applies to everything across this game in terms of storage. Everything that is directly connected to a building gets evenly distributed distribution of whatever cargo is being dropped off there. Which means this guy is going to drop off coal ore right here. The coal ore will split between this building. I probably have to tell this one to stop importing anything and empty the storage, otherwise it will try to make it evenly distributed, potentially, and we don't want that. And some will go here. So let's see if that all checks out. There we go. They all get a little bit of the coal ore because he drops it right here. Now, what would happen if we, for example, have something else stored in here? Let's just buy a little bit of gravel. What happens then? Well, it's still dropping off to the other things because the conveyors are already connected, and the conveyors don't care what type of material you want to run. And I'll get into that here at the very end, but that's just the first thing. If you drop it off directly into the building, every building that is connected to it will get a share of that cargo, since aggregate storages can only store one type of cargo. This is the only way you can do it. Now, if you would connect an engine to this, which is what we're going to do next, it's a little different. So aggregate unloading can go in right here. And notice that I'm not putting an engine in between. If you put an engine in between there, it's different because it will spread it out in between 2 levels. But we're not going to put an engine there, so we can figure out if this is an actual engine connection or not. First thing we want is have this one go from there to here, unload, wait until unloaded. Thank you. And then you just go when you're full. What's it going to do? Well, because this one's currently full, I have a guess that nothing's going to happen. A little bit goes into the storage itself, that part you just lose, but it's just going to park here. There's nothing to drop into anything because this one's already full. There's no way for this one to distribute what he wants to drop off there. The second thing, if we empty the storage and allow coal ore to get in, then coal ore can get into here, but it's not going to go into any of the connected storages, right? Cool. The last thing that we can test here is what happens if this one is already filled with something, or if this one only allows gravel. I think that should do the same thing. And then we connect an engine here, because we did say an engine would move across 2 levels. I don't know if that's the same for moving across 2 levels if the first level does not allow what you're trying to get in there, but let's see. Moment of truth, what's going to happen? He is not unloading anything, so it's acting like this storage is already full of something. So you cannot push something through here, just act like it's already full of whatever you want. So the last thing I wanted to show you is this contraption. Make it a little prettier so you can actually see it. We have 3 storages. This one's going to store gravel, this one's going to store quarried stone, and this one's going to store coal. With 3 other connected storages, and these conveyors, again, they are available now in vanilla. One is 3 in, 1 out, and one is 1 in, 3 out. So we're going to utilize both of them. And the outputs are for gravel, for quarried stone, and for coal. Everything is set up. All I wanted to show you is that this can handle all 3 of them. It does not care what you do because it just splits them out. You are probably using some of your throughput here, but overall, these all fill up eventually. And in real life, you probably don't have to unload as many of these all the time as you want. You can expand this however you want. You can expand this to nine connections afterwards, or however many connections you need on that side. I just wanted to show you that this conveyor can handle anything you throw at it, even if it's mixed consist, and that's what conveyor engines are really good at. That's it. I hope I gave you a good idea of everything that's going on here. Again, if someone could tell me if a direct conveyor engine connection is faster and has more throughput than a conveyor engine that has a connection to both sides, I'd appreciate that. But other than that, this is all there is to know about conveyor engines. I hope that helps. I hope that tells you everything you need to know, and you learned something. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.